Hello? Today I want to talk to you a little bit about why I think pork is very dangerous to eat. I am by no means an anti-meat eater. I don't consume a whole lot of meat, but pork is a meat that I definitely do not consume. I want to talk to you a little bit about the hazards that come with actually ingesting pork products. So you imagine this, that you have a summer get-together, you have a barbecue, right? You have pork loins, you have pork ribs slathered in a hot, sweet, savory barbecue sauce, and the aroma is just permeating the air. Everybody is anxious to taste this pork barbecue that you guys are cooking. But with every single bite, there is an ignorance to what they're actually ingesting. I'm not denying the fact that a pork barbecue is extremely good, but let's look at the facts as to why it is not. One, pigs will eat anything. Urine, maggots, which maggots feed on decaying matter, and waste. You ever heard of the term, you are what you eat? I'm not really sure that I'd want to be considered a pork eater after actually just hearing just that part of why it's dangerous to eat pork. Pigs also have dozens of parasites, flukes, tapeworms, and a parasite called Trianaceae. That is a very small parasite that is not seen with the human eye. It's microscopically small, but once it's actually ingested, it can attach itself to your intestines, your spinal cord, and even the brains of humans. Pigs also carry about 100 viruses, including the H1N1 virus as well. And pigs do not have sweat glands, so the toxins and stuff that they bring in, they can actually not release because they do not sweat. So everything that they consume, it stays within their body. So when we cook bacon with our eggs in the morning, we're ingesting the toxins that actually came with that pig as well. Pork is actually considered the most consumed meat in the world. In 2012, Consumer Magazine purchased 240 pounds of whole and ground pork. 83% of this 240 pounds tested positive for E. coli, staph, and salmonella. 69% of that was not responsive to an antibiotic. So there is 69% of pigs that are slaughtered for the consumption of Americans that have bacteria that has not been treated. There was also a study done where Coke was actually poured onto the center cut of a pork chop, and within a few hours, parasites arose in the form of what looked like maggots inside the meat. And it's just the bacteria coming out. There is no right temperature to cook pork to get the entire bacteria that's inside this pork out and edible for consumption. When you think about pigs being eaten and how they make it to the grocery store, they're not sitting in a field full of grass and flowers and kind of roaming around. They're actually cramped inside these pig houses. There are about 500,000 pigs that are housed in one area at a time, and that produces 26 million tons of waste. Because they're so cramped, they're frustrated, they bite each other's tails off, they're sitting in their waste, they're wallowing in their waste. The pregnant pigs are actually sitting in a gestation basket where they're basically just sitting in a cage with their pigs actually feeding off of them. So the only thing that those pigs can do is just lay there. No exercise, no nutrition. They're feeding bacteria, and bacteria and bacteria is spreading all over the place. PETA, which I'm not a big PETA fan, so let's not shut down on me just yet. I do believe that God gave us meat to eat. However, I think that there is certain precautions that we need to take as far as eating meat. I don't believe in the cruelty of animals. I feel like if you're going to hunt animals, that you're going to hunt them to actually eat them. That is part of human life. I believe that the consumption of meat is not something that should be against religion. However, these pigs are not really treated very fairly. I know a lot of people say they're just pigs, but yes, they are just pigs, and they are alive, and they do have a heart, and they do have feelings. What PETA has researched in these Smithfield factories is that these pigs are stunned with stun guns, and they are still alive. Then they are put in scalding hot water, alive, to remove the hair in order to get ready to process them to be put into the stores. Like I said, I enjoy meat to an extent. I don't believe, however, that this is something that we should do as far as getting our meat. I think that if we are going to eat meat, that we need to humanely kill these animals. And it's also been shown that not only worms and parasites can be caused in eating pork, but it's also kind of a behavioral thing as well. The nutrients, the sugar, and the salt they put in the pork causes mood swings, causes you to be sadder, and also causes migraines. And this was a study that was done by Drew Ramsey, MD. He's the author of the book Happiness Diet. And he researched this, and it really does show that there is a difference in temperament when people eat pork as opposed to just vegetables. So no matter how good something tastes, let's think about this for a minute. Is it worth my health issues? Is it worth, having a artery clogging, high cholesterol, just ingesting meat and compromising our health? Is it worth it? Not to me. It is an American tradition to have barbecue. I love the smell of barbecue. However, it is not worth the health consequences.